Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for dialing in. We're going to talk about a mind control principle today, and it's going to be around the subject of education. You know, one of the first tips that I've shared with you in previous webinars is the first step is to be able to be present right here in the moment, if you will. And that is the first step to being able to control your mind, be outside your mind, be bigger than your mind, not to be in your mind. So one of the second principles, which is super, super important, is around the subject of education. And if you're truly, truly educating someone, you're not piling on more information that just basically buries the person, okay? You're not piling on your viewpoints, your thoughts about it, your comments. Basically, true education comes from the word educe, which actually comes from the word education, believe it or not. And educe means to draw out, get the person out from under the garbage, their thoughts and all the stuff there that they kind of think about the subject so that they can actually inspect what's true for them, what's not true, and what is the real essence of what they're studying or what they're learning so they can get the right answers. So real education comes from eduction, to draw out, to bring forth. And so, excuse me, in our technology, and for those of you who have listened to us before, listen to me, you know, our technology is based on eduction, again, by the use of questions, if you will, so that we can draw forth that person's answers. So let me give you an example of how that works in real education. And it can be done as simply in a conversation or in school or whatever. So the founder and author of all this technology, you know, was Alan Walter, or is Alan Walter. And one time he was in math class and they had a math problem to do. And so he was chosen to come up and share his answer and how he got to the answer and the formula that he used. And it's a pretty big math problem. So he went up on the chalkboard, wrote out the whole entire formula, got the answer, and his answer was correct. But the teacher didn't like it because the way he got to his answer was a different formula than what she had in her mind and the way she was teaching. So she made him very, very wrong, told him that he could not do that math problem like that, that that was not correct. And that was very incorrect. So basically she had a lot of mindsets around the fact that, you know, if it wasn't done this way, then it's incorrect, which is false. And really, really just, you know, had a lot of stuff in her space, if you will, on her thoughts on the way something should be taught and on the formula that it should be done in and what was right and what was incorrect. So that obviously is not drawing out from the individual. And so if you want to be able to achieve success, prosperity, and happiness, you need to be able to educe from others that you're working with, and also surround yourself with people who know how to educe from you as well. That is the first basic skill. Let me give you an example of how you could actually use that on yourself. So if you take the subject of math, you know, a lot of people struggle in math. A lot of people are brilliant in math. But it all goes back to your mindsets at the end of the day. So if you put a math book down on the desk, you know, in front of me and said, okay, so why don't you reach for the math book? Tell me something about it. My first thought's probably going to be something like, I hate math. I have never done well in math. I don't understand it. I make mistakes. I've given you a whole bunch of thoughts. But that is an induction question, right? And you can see that I have a lot that my mindset's pretty negative and a lot of beliefs and a lot of considerations around the subject of math. But if you use the technology of eductions and ask questions and draw forth, then after you actually, after you unpile that garbage in that person's space and then ask them again, reach for the math book, they're going to come up with a different answer. Like, you told me to reach for the math book. Now I would probably tell you, oh, well, it's just a math book. Okay. You can see I don't have all that garbage sitting there on what I feel about it, how well or how terrible I did in school on math, and how many mistakes I still make in the year, and that I don't understand it, and so forth, right? Because all of that's my mindset, and that's creating that present time that I have right now, just really not liking the subject. So if you want real education, real education, the methodology to use is eduction. And that goes toward anything you're wanting to improve in, whether it's a relationship, whether or not it's a marriage, or your relationship with your kids, or making more money, or having a super fantastic team. The way to get to the root of it and to improve the area is by using the methodology of eduction, just by asking questions to draw forth the answers from the person, so that you get all the garbage and all the stuff that's there, and that will shift